further ado, I'd like to introduce from Empire Avenues the CEO, commonly known as Dukes.
Thank you. You guys have to keep me awake today. You really, really, really have to keep me awake. Let's see. And I literally wrote this over the last 24 hours, so I do apologize. So yes, my name is Dukes, and I have a very long last name, and that's how you pronounce it there. My Twitter handle is also very short, so please do follow me on Twitter. Basil asked me to put up some kind of amusing fact, or at least he sent it in an email, so I did put up a little fact there that I am a Sri Lankan-born Canadian, grew up in Hong Kong, went to Newfoundland, studied South African history, and German. I can speak German. Now I do programming, which is great. So where did I come from? Well, unbeknownst to Basil, when he sent an email 22 days ago to say, hey, we're going to do a social media action camp again, would you like to come down and would you like to do a sponsorship? We said absolutely yes. I was in Sri Lanka getting married. So I got married last Monday, and we flew back. Don't worry, she didn't take my last name. She was much smarter than that. So I'm a little bit about 12 hours ahead. I'm going to try and figure out how to balance this, because otherwise I'm going to, because I have a lot of stats and stuff with me, so that I want to make sure that I don't forget. So last year, when I was here, we talked about something called Empire Avenue Missions, and we just basically launched it I think about a month and a half, 2 months before that. We were still taking the training wheels off of it, and frankly, we didn't even know what kind of a success it was going to be. And a really interesting thing about what happened after that is we went South by Southwest, we launched missions. Around about April, I'm going to be very candid and say that a lot of our team actually took a break. We went on and did another product. And we came back in November to find out that what we actually wanted to happen was happening. And it was a success. And that, to me, is a great, great thing, and a testament to our amazing community that is on Empire Avenue. They are absolutely amazing. Unlike something like Tumblr, which, by the way, reminds me that we have to put Tumblr into Empire Avenue, we have an engaged community of people who I call top engagers. Not influencers. I don't believe influence can be measured online, but I do believe that engagement can be measured online. And that is, how are you getting that engagement? Are you getting mentioned? Are you actually having conversations that matter? These are things that you need to measure if you're going to be a good, successful marketer at the end of the day. And I think a lot of you are possibly thinking very importantly on that. So, what we started out with Empire Avenue was to create a reputation economy. That was the original vision for Empire Avenue. We were going to build a reputation economy. And so Empire Avenue is an online reputation platform to discover and promote knowledge-based services and networks. And we have a tagline, which is that we are social media rocket fuel. And I'm going to show you how that works. And by the way, just out of curiosity, how many of you are on Empire Avenue right now? Or have accounts on it? Great, fantastic. You guys are going to be overwhelmed when you sign up. It's going to be great. So Empire Avenue is targeted to two types of people. And it's empireavenue.com, by the way. Those who wish to build and expand their online reputation, engagement, and have fun while doing it. Yes, it's a bit of a game. We're gamers. We wanted you to have a bit of fun with life. Then this is a great place. Meet some of the really great, fantastic people out there in the Twitter sphere, out there in the Facebook sphere, who really, really are creating the fantastic content. Don't forget, 90% of content is created by 10% of the people. That's actually changing because of Facebook. But those who wish to reach those with great reputation and work with them through their networks in a fun way, that's the other target audience. So you've got a message that you want to reach out. You're creating this. You want to get this out there. You want to get people looking at it. Well, why don't you reach the people who do have those networks? Work with them. Give them tasks to do that will get your message out. So I'm going to give the quick basics, especially for those who have never been to Empire Avenue. And by the way, I'm from the East Coast. I speak really fast. So at any point in time, if I am like talking really fast, just put your hand up and say, "Dupes, can you please slow down a bit? Because you're talking 10 to the dozen, plus the fact that I've had so much caffeine into my system right now." So when you join Empire Avenue, you're going to create a profile, and we're going to give you a reputation and engagement scores for each of your networks. These are engagement scores. These are how well you're doing relative to everybody else in terms of what kind of engagement you're receiving. What kind of conversations are you driving? Is your message actually getting retweeted, mentioned? Are you growing your audience? And we have tools to track to show you if you are improving or not improving. And then we have an overall score, a share price that people can invest in. And that ultimately, overall, your reputation and engagement and influence is shown by how you network within Empire Avenue. This morning, Ted Rubin talked about relationships. Ultimately, scores and anything else does not build a relationship. You actually have to go and converse. You have to be social. You have to build that relationship. Now, we've done it through a gamified stock market. It is speed dating on steroids. It is fun, and it is it can be overwhelming in the first 5 minutes, but give it a few minutes. See the people who are actually connecting with you. It'll help. Now, so you got the basics down, you've got a career account, you're doing some networking, it's kind of crazy. You're thinking, well, how can I use this? And this is the thing that we launched last year, so which is missions. So in this entire world, you work with virtual currency, with virtual wealth. And we wanted you to have some fun in that world. You can create a mission. You can tell people, hey, you know what? Retweet my blog for me. And I'm going to give you some virtual currency, which you, by the way, earn for free by just being you, and perhaps investing in other people and having them invest in you. So you don't even have to pay for this. This is all a lot of fun. And they go and do it. Why? Because they are the super engagers, and you are creating those relationships with which they feel they ought to do it if they take your mission. So, at the time, I did not know I would actually be able to do a demo. I'm very glad that I did not, because apparently the internet would have hated me anyway. So I did just take some screenshots. So when you get to Empire Avenue, you'll get a screen, you'll click on missions. I'm going to go speed right through this, because I think what you really want to know are the numbers and what it can do to affect you. And then I want you to go and try it. Okay? It's pretty easy. Once you've created an account and you have access to missions, you need to have a certain share price, so you need to actually do some networking in order to get access to missions. These days you can actually pay, I think, $5 and get access pretty quickly, but you still won't have enough virtual currency to really make a difference, so keep that in mind. But you go in, you create a mission. You can see some of the missions that people have created. And you put in a title, you type of missions, go to a web page, go to a link, tweet. Put in the amount of rewards that you want to do, and the requirements of what the person should have to be targeted. So, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit, because this is the dashboard and it shows you just like you would with creating a campaign. You're basically creating a campaign to get someone to do a task, and then see the results of that campaign. So on Sunday, in my copious amounts of time, I also started a blog series that I'm writing called The Mechanics of Being Social in Media. I love the mechanics of actually being social in media. What does an @ symbol do, and why is it that it's really important to mention someone? What is the programming behind it, and what actually means on the other side of things? Now, I wanted to get it promoted, so I went to Empire Avenue and I said, okay, I'm going to create a mission. I put up 1 million of my own wealth, my personal virtual currency, and said, can you go, and I did 2 missions. I'll tell you why. One was to show you what doesn't work, and one to show you what does work. So the first one, so basically I said, go promote my blog. My blog has been inactive for about a year. I drove the most traffic I've had to that blog in that single mission. And this is some of the tweets that generated out of it. Basically an entire stream of tweets. I only did it to 40 people. Those 40 people generated over 3 million impressions. So I've got some stories. Basil, of course, has been amazing and has put together Social Media Action Camp now 2 years running, and we'll be here to help him next year. So when it's going to be really big, I hear it's going to be out in Times Square. Yeah, so Empire Avenue has been sponsoring Social Media Action Camp. We've driven traffic to Social Media Action Camp. I won't read the entire quote, it's there. I know you guys are all tired of being all there all morning. So another person is Chris Ford. Chris Ford runs Stitches and Dishes. And I'm going to give you the exact numbers as well for this, because they're very, very, very impressive. So some of these are basically, he went from having 3,500 fans on Facebook to 7,500 fans, doubling. So average virality of stories posted to Facebook increased from an average of 2.5 to 13.5%. Twitter followers increased 450%, from 400 to 1,800 followers when they first started using this. Page views increased on their blog from by 600%, from 300 to 1,800 on average, and so on and so forth. Now we can see the numbers on our end as well. So this is, he spent about 28 million E's, which is about $6,000 US if you actually went and bought all those E's. Chris recorded, in this test, it was 197 missions. He received 5,800 social media actions, and of course, the important one, we've been talking about impressions all day, 36 million impressions. Now, it works for big companies too. Nokia has been a pretty big user of missions, and over the last year did a similar number of missions, 195 missions, and they generated 72 million impressions. Now you can see the total spend there is not actually as big as you would think it is to do this. So, I want to run out by you how to run a good mission, and this actually is good for anything if you ever set a task for anyone to do. So first of all, in the good old Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, don't panic. It's very important because you can actually do some pretty big damage to yourself. You want to keep your tasks simple and clear. So when I did my own blog task, my own blog mission, I did two, I said. The first one, I said, hey, go to my blog. I've just written a great blog. You should go read it. And hey, while you're at it, you should promote it. And I didn't even have the right buttons in there. I got, I don't know, maybe 5 tweets from it. Not really a big deal. Second one, I was very clear. This is the tweet I want. Go read the blog. And I'm going to even link you directly to Twitter to be able to post it, if you like it. And by the way, leave a comment if you like. And most of them did leave comments, by the way. And they did, and it was successful. The more complicated and hard you make a task, the less likely it's actually going to happen. The other thing is, you want to reward people appropriately. The entire idea of gamifying this is a lot of fun. The people who are doing it for you aren't just doing it because they're robots. They're actually reading the missions. They're actually trying to understand what it is you're trying to do. Because the kind of audience we have are super, super smart. Super engaged. We're not talking about, I don't know, general person on the street who has no idea about social media. These people are super connected. They're not going to give their networks to you if you are doing something they do not like. So reward them appropriately for the task that you're asking them to do. But then reward them again. It's about the relationship. You want to go afterwards. Invest back in them. That's what Empire Avenue is about. Investing in people. Investing in their ideas, investing in their networks, investing in their profiles. And follow them back on Twitter. Like their page on Facebook. Have a look at who they are. Encourage them back into your network. Now, admittedly, we can do this better, so I have other things to talk about that. But the other thing is, it's an advertising campaign. It's a campaign. Not every click on your mission is going to generate an action. That's okay. If you're thinking about click-through rates in regular advertising, do people know what click-through rates are in terms of numbers? They're minuscule. They're minuscule when you go to Facebook. Ours is really high, 30, 40%. We've even done a test on, because people tell us, there are people who click through and don't do the task we give them. And we've actually discovered that it can be as high as 80% on getting a tweet out if you've written a good mission that speaks to people. And that is also an advertising campaign. Think about who it is that's going to be doing it. Look at copy. high school English has not gone away. It's good to do great copy and get people to do so. And ultimately, it's all about having fun. Life's full of boring stuff. I mean, really and honestly, I can sit up here and talk about any number of different things, about how you should go back to your offices and do marketing and all that kind of stuff, and make sure the copy is exactly right, and make sure the message is on target, and that you're not pissing off whoever is up on top of you, and all that kind of stuff. But life is full of boring stuff. Have a bit of fun. Empire Avenue was created so that you can have fun with the people who are online. We wanted to gamify it. We wanted to have some level of fun in the whole thing. And this is a quote as to what it actually all does. Now, I know I've sped through it, and you guys are going, Empire Avenue, I've never even heard of these guys, and they're claiming all of this stuff. Go try it. Remember, it's targeted to people like you, people who are really interested in social media, who want to connect, who want to build networks, who want to understand the value of that network, and who want to play in this reputation economy. This presentation is kind of where we were, and also bridging to where we're going to be. And you want to be part of this reputation economy, because eventually, this is going to be how you will make money. You are already making money doing this. If you are in the social media business, doesn't matter if it's social media, forget the word social media. If you're in the media marketing business, you're making money on your reputation, on the value of your network, and on the value of the network of the person next to you, because that's why you're getting their business card. That's why you're connecting to them on LinkedIn. We want you to see and realize the value of your own network, and to actually realize the potential of it. And this is where I go off script. Because if you know missions, and have tried missions, which apparently not many of you have yet, you're all going to have a lot of fun and be very confused for about 10 minutes. Guarantee that. Stick with it. Reach out to me on Twitter and I'll help you through it. We didn't really understand what we were building. And any startup who says that they do, crazy. And I'm sure the wonderful folks at Tumblr, as much as they said they knew exactly what they were building, probably are sitting now going, holy crap, how did we get 200 million people again exactly? We didn't know. And the reason it's not written is because we want our community to help us to go from what is version 2.0 of Empire Avenue to version 3.0 of Empire Avenue. It's going to be an evolution. And we're going to take you with us, and you're going to take us there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to happen much sooner than you think. So, some of the things you would have seen in the dashboards that I showed. You don't know exactly what the return of investment is. We actually know that. We pull the data out, all those impressions and things like that. We want to give that information back to you. We know what's happening in the networks and what is going on. So some of that may be premium services that we provide. Some of it will be for free. We want you to be able to feature these missions and to drive them everywhere. Target them better. When we talk about reputation, when you talk about reputation of anything, or influence of anything, reputation is a great word. Reputation is not necessarily about how many followers I have on Twitter, how many people mention me or retweet me. It's a reputation of a single subject. It's how you connect with me on any different types of levels and subjects. So we want you to be able to find those people with the great reputations to carry your message to their networks, and for them to be compensated for having done that in a proper way, legal and everything else. And to make your knowledge-based services and networks very, very successful. So, I am going to be very quick. So that's my blog. This is The Mechanics of Being Social in Media, which I am actually writing right now. And I was happy to talk to Marty because her thing on Twitter was very, very, very cool. And you should think about what it means when you act on any of these networks, Empire Avenue included. We do a lot of different things to make you do certain stuff. And you may not even realize you're doing the certain stuff that we're asking you to do, whether it's to be seductive or to be running scared. Either way, thank you for listening to someone who's very, very, very tired, but is happy to be here. So thanks again.